Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, then distribute it everywhere, and even earn money. We like that. All in one place for totally free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your cellular telephone or your computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else, those other places that podcasts are heard.
Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free, zero catch. We've been using it ever since we started How Long Gone. And ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel like having the option of turning off the Q&As and the polls on the user dashboard has really helped boost my creativity and take it to another level. I highly recommend giving it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started. Good afternoon, Chris Black.
Oh, what's up, big dog? How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I am just I'm going over on another trip, a little weekender to Sedona, AZ to get my third eye all the way wide open.
Because I think your third eye right now is just cracked, and we need that shit bust down open.
The eye has cracked.
The eye is cracked, but it needs to be busted, and I think that could take TJ to another. And you know, I saw you at the tennis court yesterday, and you seemed like you had a few supplies for this third eye opening.
Yeah, I have drugs to take out there on the.
And we ain't talking a new can of Wilsons. You know what I'm saying?
We aren't talking a new can of Wilsons. We are not talking a quarter ounce of Cookies' finest. This is a great package of stems and caps for your boy to take part in. The only thing I'm wondering is, do I do the whole 8th God dose, or do I parcel it out over a day or two?
I would say, obviously, I mean, this is coming from me. Do it all at once. But because you don't want to wait, you don't want to have two mediocre highs when you could have one smack dab high. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the it's not a problem. But the thing I need to take into consideration is when you're doing that, it's like it's a real take my keys. I hope I have get all my water and supplies, like whatever is going to be happening for the next 6 hours. I'm checked out. I am unavailable for anything.
Are you saying that you're not usually checked out for 6 hours at a time? Because I mean, it doesn't sound.
I like to be, believe it or not, I do like to be in control of the situation. I like to know what is happening at all times, in case there is an emergency of some sort, whatever it might be. The place we're staying at has a pool. I don't want to, get my little drown on.
If your big ass drowns and limits one of my fucking income streams, you're in trouble. Okay, we can't have TJ dying when the bag is finally starting to get delivered. Like that ain't okay.
So if I die from drowning, I'm going to be in big trouble, is what you're saying?
Yes, you will be in big trouble. The ones closest to you will be upset, but mostly I will be upset about the bag loss because I couldn't go on. I couldn't go on without you.
Yeah, because you don't know how to turn the recorder on. But it is true. I do have a mouth to feed, and it's pretty much just mine. So,
and this boy, but you're a big boy. You like to eat, fam.
I do like to eat, and because that's what the majority of the podcast revenue is going into, is just different top tier culinary items.
That's what it feels like to me. I mean, I'm not going to police what you do with your money, but you could probably be a little more responsible.
I mean, I don't spend my money on clothes. That's all for free. The drip is not for sale. It is for donation. Otherwise, what am I really spending my money on other than bomb ass meals? I don't even spend my money on natty wine.
Jason, when we were at the cabin over the weekend, I was like, oh, that's a cool fleece. Where'd you get it? And Jason literally like got it from a dumpster at his neighbor's house. So he's not kidding about the drip being free. The fleece, vintage North Face, was fire. But it
is not from a dumpster. When we first moved in, my neighbor was having a yard sale because he was moving out, and he had a bunch of dead stock 80s and 90s heat. One of that being a great North Face piece that you said you could have seen that for $150 on Grailed all day long. I got this shit for like $4.
I don't know which Depop sellers you follow, but yeah, probably 150 or so. I know you're more of a traditional. Both of us Gen Xers, we're big eBay heads, so yeah,
I don't want it if it's that easy. I like to sniff around for my truffles. I don't like to go to Italy and have them served up for me.
Thank you for that great analogy, bringing it back to food. But I got some new drip for my birthday.
You do have a new drip, and her name is Tabby.
And I've never been vocally against the Margiela Tabby style. I just never thought I could do it. But Alex gave me a pair of the Tabby loafers in black leather. And I got to say, bro, I think they're cool.
The Tabby and the loafers together?
You're in trouble.
Oh, no. They are a special type of footwear, aren't they?
Very special, like their wearer, Big CB. But what do you? I mean, I sent the group chat a pic. What do you think?
I think they evoke a lot of hoof like energy.
Yes. That's because I'm a stallion.
And you do not disagree, Christopher the Stallion.
Chris the Stallion does not disagree. I mean, I was always, it's one of those things that I was always scared of, but like I think I also thought of them more as like a white heeled boot because that's what women wear, So when I saw something more approachable, and I wore them to Mr. Chow last night, and I felt I was just galloping down Rodeo like it was nothing, bro.
I was talking to my LP about the hoof, the Tabby loafers, and she was offended. She was making fun of me when I asked her what brand they were.
Well, that's stupid. I mean, that's a stupid question, Jason.
So
we all know the drip is Margiela.
Okay, so follow-up question is she's like, you're joking, right? And, so my question is Margiela the only shoe or clothing company that makes a Tabby shoe
style? Well, yes. I mean, I think that he's done a heeled boot. There's like a canvas sneaker. There's the loafer.
No. I mean, like, so no other clothing brands or shoe brands makes a Tabby at all. Is this like a patented technology that Maison Margiela has?
I don't know if you remember this because you were wearing fucking flat brim fitteds, but the there was a Nike Rift, the Air Rift, which is a very cool kind of running shoe that had a split toe.
Right. That was when you were wearing Herschel. Okay, go ahead.
Bitch, I've never worn Herschel on God, and I will come through this microphone and slap the taste out your mouth for that kind of talk. We ain't doing that, bro. We ain't doing that.
Okay. So long story short, Margiela is the only company that has ever made a Tabby shoe.
That's my understanding, yes. I mean, the Rift is basically the sport version with the strap, and Nike also made the split toe socks. It's very cool for a chick. I think for a dude, it's not cool, but great, a classic Nike piece.
So, are they comfortable? Give us a rundown.
They're very comfortable. I'm going to wear them today for our meeting.
Oh, thank God! And that's something that you would never wear a sock in. This is sockless only.
They do make a split toe sock, but loafer. I mean, I don't wear a sock. I rarely wear socks unless it's with sneakers anyway. So it kind of tracks for me.
What do you do? For our fellas out there who might have some sockless issues, in terms of maybe moisture and odor. What are some CB tips for those out here?
You better pray to God that should go away.
So all you can do is really find peace with your maker because there's nothing else that you can do.
And the pro tip that I always distribute, which is great advice for anybody, if you're going to wear a canvas shooter in the summer with no socks, buy a pair, throw a pair away, buy a new pair next season. Let's not be cheap. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not sustainable, but we're talking about $50 here. You know, because nothing is more uncool than a no-show sock. That is the least cool thing you can do. And trust me, if you think we can't see it, we can. We can see it.
It's true. Even if you absolutely cannot see it, we just know that it's there. We sense the energy of the no-show sock.
Whatever shoe emanates big dick energy, no-show socks will take that away and give you tiny 50-year-old man driving a Porsche energy.
What do you feel about the look of just walking around? I mean, what if you own the no-show sock? Like when you see people, you know, men or women or you know all types of non-binary individuals as well, wearing like a pant or a legging or something like that, and then just the no-show sock, no shoe, like, you know, when they're just kind of making TikToks in their kitchen. If you own that look, then what? What if it's like a very attractive person doing it?
No, Jason, I know what you're getting at here, and I'm not going to let you wear size 17 no-show socks.
This does not apply to me at all. I'm talking about, you know, like, you know, if you're younger, you see some like college chick, you know, a college hottie wearing the no-show socks with the confidence rivaling that of an Emrata, perhaps.
No, we're out on that. No,
we can't do it.
The no-show, although I understand its existence and its boom in popularity in the last 5 to 10 years, I will never accept it as an option for men or women.
Yeah,
unless you're doing like reformer Pilates and you have grippy socks, then I'm going to let it slide.
Okay.
Only in the studio. Only in the studio.
Okay. Yeah.
Or if you're or if you OD on drugs and you're in the hospital, they also give you a similar sock. That's fine too.
There's the overdose socks?
No, but I'm joking, but there's a hospital sock that is grippy, similar to a grippy sock for a Pilates or yoga class that they would give you. Similar, but not the same.
So not only is the food and beverage program at Cedars good, their atelier and their cobbler is also putting up some great products.
Yes, the whole situation is on fleeky.
Okay, well that's good. Speaking of Emrata, she's trending right now for a story that she wrote. Did you read it, Chris?
I read most of it, and it was very good. And
is there anything that she can't do? You know,
honestly, I mean, I think it's also something I feel like only she could write, which I think is the key to writing in general, the point of view angle. And it's like it's so wholly her in this way that we don't. Basically, she's talking about how she like can recognize herself better in paparazzi photos than like her in the mirror, and just the struggles that come along with that, and how like. I mean, there's a whole thing about Richard Prince painting her and her boyfriend buying it, and it's good. It's really good, and it's got like, I mean, I think we all knew that she was capable of more. Obviously, like I think she's been on that trajectory for a while. But
more than what, Chris?
More than a model, bro. More than just a
a pretty face.
More than just a body in a Robin Thicke video. You know what I mean? So it's like. But it's interesting because there's going to be, I guess there's a whole, I don't know if it's a book, but there's a collection of essays that this is from, that New York Magazine published the excerpt. So, but it's great. And that's what, I mean, there's a reason it's going viral. You know, it's very good. And I think we also like as a culture when a celebrity, model, actress, you know, singer, whatever it may be, does something kind of self-reflective, but very, very good that we actually can't relate to. But it's like it's so well done that you are able to pull things from it that feel valuable, and I think that's kind of what this story did.
We're able to actually truly empathize with somebody like Emily Ratajkowski, who it's pretty hard to find any empathy for.
Exactly. I'm a heartless monster when it comes to celebrities, and I felt a lot of empathy, and that's powerful.
Yeah, I saw that she was being sued by a paparazzi photographer
for posting her own photo.
A photo of herself on her Instagram stories where you can't even see her face.
Well, that's a common way. That's a common issue though with these agencies. Like that's the thing that's happening now, where the agencies are suing people for their own photos. Like that, I've heard multiple stories about brands getting kicked off of Instagram because a claim is filed by the paparazzi agency, which is just, I mean, it's all very confusing because it makes no sense, but it's also just some weird business and laws that like are obviously in favor of the photographer and the agency. But I do think it's pretty strange.
They could find some loopholes in the system that are truly unfair. I would just like to be a fly on the wall in the courtroom proceedings of like, Your Honor, let the record state that the photos were not on the grid. This was only a story post. And then everyone in the jury goes, ooh, like you get like a little quiet hum and whisper amongst each other.
I like this. I like this idea for the dramatic reenactment for the HBO show.
For Emrata NCIS.
But yeah, read the story. It's on NewYorkMagazine.com. I'm sure you've seen it on the TL. It's doing a little something we like to call in this show going viral.
Viral.
Virale.
Okay, so we have a guest today, Tim Heidecker, who is known for being on the Tim and Eric show with Eric Warheim. He became a actual legitimate recording artist, not making comedy music, but actually making very good, honest, beautiful CB style tunes on friend of the pod, Jaga Jaguar.
He also has a new show coming out that actually got announced today. It's an A24 vehicle on Showtime called Moonbase 8, which is I like the timing of this. You know what I'm saying? He's coming here to promote his new show, I guess.
You were into the press tour energy that's going on of like, well, we have a new we went to Deadline, we saw the new shows being released on Showtime. How could we not go on How Long Gone?
Exactly.
To discuss.
How Long Gone is a must stop. Like the way that Letterman was in the 90s, How Long Gone is for the 2020s. Let's just,
That's what it's starting to feel like.
We're not just the gay Howard Stern. We're also the modern David Letterman.
Exquisite. Okay, let's give Timmy a call.
Bang his line, mate. Have you heard of a thing called Sonos? You should try it.
I do Sonos. And that's a problem because listen to this. I've got two areas in my house that are not on the same network. So how's Sonos going to deal with that?
Man, Hollywood must pay well. How big is this house?
It's a compound. I mean, it's like the David Koresh situation over here.
So Tim, did you move to Austin just like Joe Rogan as well? Now that the pod is really taking off?
I'm gonna see if I can get about a quarter mile deeper into the earth than he currently is.
That's smart. That
bunker,
will affect the Sonos.
That bunker he's got. I mean, what the hell is that look?
I mean, I have a lot of questions about Mr. Rogan, but I think the bunker is top 5, maybe.
Yeah, me too.
But that, he probably receives like multiple death threats every day. He has like armed security with him, all from like, smoking doobies on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, somebody mentioned to me, they're like, did he realize that pot is illegal in Texas? Did he game that one out?
I think he's still working around that one.
Maybe he moved there to lead this charge for legalization.
Maybe, I don't know.
What does your security detail look like, Tim?
I have the ATD security system that is currently probably out of batteries around the house.
Okay.
Okay.
But you are working on getting some new batteries soon, probably.
I should. Let's let the audience know that I'm unprotected at the moment. The shield's down.
Well, where are you in Los Angeles? General area?
Glendale, East Glendale, right in the smoke zone, like really.
Glendale is
Tim.
What we call that.
I am also in Glendale, but I'm in a different smoke zone. If you know what I'm saying, brother.
Like hookahs or something.
Yeah,
like, hanging out with the Armenians.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm. Jason is deeply embedded in the Armenian community. They respect him quite a lot for some reason.
It took me a while. I'm West Glendale though, so take
wish I
with
had
that
their-
what you will.
I wish I had their respect. I don't get eye contact.
How many cigs do you smoke?
You're right. I got to find my park. And sit and smoke, and maybe I can. And wear like winter clothes throughout the year.
Year round? That is actually a perfect description of the Glendale Armenian community. Even as an outsider, I recognize those traits.
Yeah, I noticed when I made the move from Atwater Village to Glendale, it was 5 minutes away, but a world apart, and I never really felt fully welcomed by the Armenian community here. But now that I am a resident, I feel like I'm in their good graces now, and I don't exactly know why. I think it only really does boil down to smoking cigarettes.
Well, maybe I'll have to start up again.
Well, I'm good. I mean, no, don't do that. That voice is like honey, all right?
Thank you.
Now is your time. I mean, at least you're not. Are you vaping then?
No, I'm not. I'm living a clean life right now, but I did dip into the vape like a year or two ago, and it was way more. I found it way more addictive than I remember cigarettes being. I think it's like, and it also like it kind of like gave me all these weird facial tics, and I was it was weird. I was just like I'm doing it right now, but I kind of had these weird like my just uncontrollable, like very subtle. You wouldn't have noticed it, but I was.
It was a little Parkinson's-y.
Yeah, and I found myself like sneaking into the bathroom at restaurants to puff, and it was like, what the fuck? How did this happen? Get me this. This is awful.
That's a cautionary tale, actually. Maybe that's why Juul got banned. I didn't know it was. I haven't heard something that serious before.
No, vaping truly is way more fun than regular cigs. I have experienced, and I miss it sometimes. I think about it, just the ease of a morning puff without having to go outside.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very, very, very temporary, very quick, good feeling.
Damn. That describes a lot of things, I feel like.
So Tim, you're in Glendale. You have, we're in the middle of a nice little coronavirus. If you did have to leave, if you fled the city and went somewhere else, where would you go?
There's nowhere to go. There's no escape. I mean,
you're not going to Utah or something like that.
No, I can't. I don't. No, I don't like the desert. We drove up to Montana in July to see my sister, and she lives up in Butte, Montana. And it's nice up there about like 2 months out of the year, and we were there during one of those months. So I think about going up there a little bit. Maybe it's a good hideaway, but. Then you've got all those shitty people up there, There's all these, people with guns and trucks and stuff. I don't want to be around that every day.
Well, those are my people, but I still don't want to be around them every day.
Exactly. So I grew up around those. I grew up around those people in Pennsylvania. That's why I split.
I forget that Pennsylvania has a deep redneck culture. I'm from Atlanta, and we have obviously a very deep redneck culture. But I feel like Pennsylvania is rivaling us. I think it's underreported.
I think I would call it a fat neck group of people.
Oh, so they're overweight and have guns and trucks, or
that's pretty,
okay.
Yeah,
I think it's the same vibe, but you guys just have more like cheese consumption per capita than the South.
Yeah, my vision, my image of like the typical Pennsylvanian where I grew up is a very, very like morbidly obese man coming out of a diner, sucking food out of his teeth, sucking it with his lips. And
yeah, we all know that sweet sound.
Yeah, that's my ringtone. But did you live in Philadelphia for a while too?
I did. I went to Temple University in North Philly, so I was there for about five years.
Do you harbor any feelings for Philadelphia? Because I hate it there.
I was in college. I had a great time there. I had made a lot of good friends, and I last time I was there, I kind of walked through the historical section of the city, which is cool. Yeah. It's cool that's there. This like Independence Mall and all that stuff is like, it's this crazy connection to like a very ancient, not ancient, but I think
old as hell.
Old as hell, yeah. So you don't see that at all in California.
You definitely. I mean, last time I was there, I was on Ecstasy and saw Soul Wax play. So maybe I should revisit. I haven't been. I haven't been in a long time. So
That's pretty cool.
It was cool, I guess. But you're right. California is a very new city.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before the white man took it, Tim. Let's talk about. I want to talk about your transition into the music career. I know your record came out. How long has it been now?
It's coming out next week, I think.
25th?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the 25th.
But you released the first kind of like.
We're doing what you do. You put out some singles.
We love singles.
You put out some videos, one video, and you get the promotional. We were supposed to have another video, and it's still in the works. But yeah, so
we were hoping. We were hoping this was a stop on your promotional tour. Can you say that for us, please?
It is. I feel like you guys went outside the normal channels dealing with the PR gang. You went direct. So they're not.
We go direct. That's kind of our approach here at How Long Gone Industries.
That's what I do on. That's what I do with office hours. I just call my friends or bug them to come on. Most of the time.
Yeah, we do the same, except ours aren't as famous as yours. But still, we also don't believe in paying a retainer fee to a PR firm when you can just DM them.
Yeah, I know. The world. It's hard to justify it because what I find is you do it and the same 10 places pick up the story and the same 25 people look at it, and it's like.
Do you get hit? Do publicists hit you about the podcast to have people on?
No, we don't have anybody listening, so nobody cares.
Perfect. Well, the record comes out in 2 weeks. You have 2 videos. There's 2 singles, right?
Yeah, there's 2 singles. There'll be another single tomorrow. And the whole touring shit is fucked, right? Thank God. I don't want to have anything to do with that.
But that's how you make money.
I know. Well, I make money other ways. I've got a.
Oh, okay, big dog. Okay, right.
Tim's in the biz, man. So you are not a fan of the touring and the live show vibes, or you've just done it so much that you're ready to hang up the hat.
I just did a big tour with Eric earlier in the year, and it's fun. That's fun. And music tours for me, I feel will be hard. And I wouldn't make money because I would end up spending money to put on the best show. I'd bring a band and I'd try to travel comfortably and all that stuff. So it would kind of be this weird net even maybe loss. But
damn.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I'm not I like playing music. I don't know if I'd want to do it like every night. Because I
Tim, you're gonna have to do it every night. I'm sorry. You wanted this rock star fucking lifestyle, bro.
Well, yeah, you already had a career going.
You know what? Like Nilsson never toured. Harry Nilsson. Like there's people that just that never toured because they felt like I know Harry Nilsson had stage fright, and he was like, I'm not doing it. Fuck you. I'm staying in.
But that was back in the time when Harry could make enough money just off of record sales.
Right, yeah.
So now touring and live shows are literally the only way a musician can make money. So
I'll tell you what, if this record becomes a sensation and there's an absolute desire and a demand from a general public to see me play these songs in person, then we will figure it out, and I will go in gladly and put on a great show.
So if your manager just keeps calling you every morning, like, look, we're
number one.
Glastonbury wants you to headline.
We are number one. Okay, this record's gone platinum. Everybody is obsessed with it. It's a sensation. You're the zeitgeist right now. Yeah, I'm going to put a band together.
Kanye wants to open for you.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
So,
I think you should probably get on TikTok now. I think that could really help you explode.
Yeah, I did a thing on TikTok when it first, like a few months ago, where I declared myself the king of TikTok, and I put up about 3 videos explaining that, and I haven't been on it since in about 3 or 4 months, so I don't know what my presence on TikTok is.
Well, at least you own your handle. That's the first. The first step in this battle of world domination.
Well, I'm such an Oracle guy. I've always been Team Oracle when it comes to tech. I just love what they do. I love their systems. I love their networking. So I'm so excited about the future of TikTok and Oracle.
You want to talk about a fucking wireless router?
Yeah.
The good people down at Oracle, they're onto something.
And I've known Larry Ellison for years.
Sure.
You know, I'm just so happy for them.
Success is great.
Is it when you first started releasing music that was serious and not, comedy related? How difficult was that, or was it not difficult at all? And then the more you've done it, has it gotten easier, or does it still feel a little foreign to you?
Well, it's the perception of it has gotten easier. I think I thought it was originally going to be interesting that I was always, trying every time I do something, it should feel a little different, or it should feel like it's not what you expect, because that would get boring if I just kept kind of churning out the same kind of stuff. So, and a lot of people appreciated that. I think there's a lot of people that don't like the kind of music I make that like the kind of comedy I make. There's just like it's just a different kind of thing. It's like people consider it dad rock or whatever. Like it's their dad's music. So I get that
they want to listen to the Travis Scott and not people who are name checking Harry Nilsson. For example.
But there is an audience for it, and the more I do it, I think the more people are comfortable with, like, okay, I don't expect this to be insane or really goofy, so it's gotten a little easier. I mean, I just like doing it, and I like working with the people I get to work with, and the process of it is sort of why I do it, and it's always like kind of not an afterthought, but the annoying part is putting it out. I'd rather I would
Cool.
I just like here it is. I hope you like it, but if you don't, there's nothing much I could do about it.
Did you put a new band together for this record?
Somewhat. It was a collection. It was this guy Drew Erickson who kind of produced it with me and Natalie. He sort of assembled this wrecking crew group of people that he's all buddies with. Some of them I had played with before, but this group called the Lemon Twigs.
Bunch of old session heads.
Yeah.
A bunch of old session guys wearing Saint Laurent. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. No, well, the Lemon Twigs are like 22 years old.
No, I know.
But they're old souls. Like they're just absolute geniuses musically. And so some of those, like if some names, if you will, but also some just solid players who show up on a lot of these kind of records nowadays.
And did you do it in L.A.?
Yeah, we tracked in L.A. and we ended up going to this studio in the Valley called Valentine Studios. That was this weird time capsule. There was this 60s and 70s studio where like the Beach Boys recorded and people like that. But it was boarded up in the late 70s and just opened back up a few years ago. And it's like you walk into like a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame exhibit or something where it's like all preserved orange carpet and brown baffles everywhere and stuff. So it was very much
the cocaine is still on the mirror.
The cocaine and Quaaludes are all over the place. Yeah.
Damn, very, very cool. And Natalie is Wise Blood, correct?
Natalie is Wise Blood.
Natalie is.
And did you guys had a relationship before this?
Not really. We had known each other. We had played a couple shows together or on the same bill, and we had some mutual friends. But it was pretty casual. Couldn't say she was a good friend or anything before we recorded. It was a little bit of a let's see.
Still isn't.
Still is not. Still purely work. Purely a work relationship.
Honestly, guys, I don't really like her that much, but she's fun to work with.
Hey, you know what? She brings talent. She's a super singer, but nightmare to be around. So we just
kind of a crummy gal to be around.
Yeah. No, it was a fun experience. It kind of just like let's see if sometimes you have to just try a collaboration, see if you get along, and if it didn't, it probably wouldn't have gone past a couple days in the studio, but we got along well and liked all the people we were around, so we kept at it until we had enough songs to warrant an album.
I was going to ask you, did you go in with the songs, or did you write them in the studio?
No, I had like most, I had like five or six songs that I had just sort of sitting around. And I brought them in, and after that session, I kind of wrote another batch with the project in mind, more specifically. And I think there's some changing and writing and finishing that happens in the studio, but for the most part, they were. And then there's one song on the record that I wrote the words for. We kind of experimented with the style of I'll write the words and you write, and Natalie wrote the music and sang it. So the last song on the record is just this beautiful Wise Blood song that's on my record. It's like this weird bonus thing that I get to have on my record.
Let's hope that gets picked up for a Kia commercial. Am I right, baby?
Yeah, I would appreciate it. I appreciate song placement in anything. I have no objections to that.
That's
we
cool.
we love song placement on this podcast. It's a big thing that we like to talk about.
Well, there aren't really enough ukuleles and whistling on the record, maybe, but
I mean, you're gonna need some more whistling for the helpful Honda dealership commercial.
I keep hearing this. There's a Mercedes commercial that was playing incessantly during the U.S. Open, and it has some like really bad like Strokes ripoff British band in the commercial, and it's really jarring. And now I Shazammed it so many times I can't get the song out of my head. But it was an interesting modern choice, I thought, from Mercedes.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
They're constantly innovating.
They really are, dude. They're pushing it forward.
Tim, what kind of music do you listen to when you're like turning up? Do you have any type of turn up music?
Turn up? What do you mean? Like get jazzed? Get excited?
Yeah, get excited. Maybe you're like, doing tequila shots. You're celebrating a victory. You just sold a script or something like that.
Who I've been listening to a lot that it really puts me in a good mood are the Faces. With the Faces, which are
sure,
Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood and Ronnie Lane, and that's fun music. I was like, God, these guys they're kind of more fun than the Rolling Stones. If you want that kind of thing, I highly recommend. It's a little controversial, I know, but
I don't.
Yeah, Faces are great.
Though. I don't disagree with you though, but I don't think about it that much. So thank you for the reminder.
So you're not listening to any modern rap music, dance music, anything like that?
No, I have no idea.
You have kids. You have kids, right?
That's true. I have a 7-year-old, and she's starting to find modern music that she likes and on her own.
Did you take her to McDonald's to get the Travis Scott burger, or no?
I don't know anything about it. No, we don't try. We try not to go to McDonald's. So no.
You're a good parent. Okay, good answer. I was worried that you had had to do that, but we won't explain that marketing ploy to you. But she's listening to modern music, like radio stuff, or something that you're introducing her to. No,
just probably in movies that like these animated movies. They always sneak one of those songs in there. The one song I did like from one of her movies that I really do genuinely love is "Try Everything" by Shakira. And it's in this movie called Zootopia, and it sounds like an ABBA song, and it's very catchy.
We're familiar with the song, Tim.
Okay.
Don't mansplain Zootopia to me.
No, I haven't. I'm not familiar with that Shakira song. I do like another song of hers called She Wolf, which is taking back the werewolf narrative for the ladies. I would recommend that song. That's probably my favorite Shakira song. Maybe we'll end this episode with that, but it has another ABBA like disco feel to it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Do you? I forget that are a lot of these kids movies made for adults to enjoy as well. I always hear people say that, but is that true?
I think they're trying to think of the parents a little bit. There's like a quality index, I guess. There's the Pixar movies I do genuinely think on are pretty solid and well made, and some of them are actually better than most movies. But there's a lot of fucking trash, and they tend to be they're very long a lot of the time. They feel very long. They're very complex and full of story, and daughter was watching this Lego movie, the second Lego movie, and it felt like there were about 14 different endings because I was kind of popping in and out. I'm like, it sounds like this movie's wrapping up, but then like a whole other thing happens. It's just like it's incredible, and these kids.
What
are
is this?
like,
The Irishman?
Exactly.
Damn.
No. I find, because I think a lot of adults see stuff like the Lego movie by choice, and I just couldn't be bothered to see something like that. I don't understand the appeal.
I think The Simpsons had a lot of that when I was younger. They always had like, something to make your uncle chuckle while
Shrek was the one that did that first, probably, right? Where it was like, this was for kids, but there's going to be some pop culture references in here. Yeah, I don't care for that tone at all. I don't need
bullshit.
that. I don't need that. I don't need to be pandered to. I'm looking for something to separate myself from my kid for an hour and a half. Like, don't worry about me.
Yeah, I'm not here for this. It's for her.
Right.
How are your kids handling the whole school from home, not allowed to see your friends situation?
They're doing okay.
Or are they seeing their friends and you're disobeying the law?
No, we're pretty good about it. There's like one kid that we see that, but there's there's this kind of natural move. She's right at the age where she can play these interactive games on her iPad that are like this thing called Roblox, which is a whole. It's like a, what do you call that thing with the Minecraft? It's kind of like that. And she ends up like socializing with kids in that world, and it's not obviously ideal, but it's not like she's some kind of hermit, some kind of.
She's interacting virtually.
Yeah, she seems pretty good.
Thanks to the good people at Oracle.
God, thank you so much, Oracle, for keeping our systems intact.
Well, speaking of kids, now that you're getting older, you have some kids. Do you feel a greater responsibility for the content that you're putting out, or
no, not at all?
Okay, got it. Zero. Why not? Or do you think that'll ever happen, or you're just always going to be a badass like that?
Well, I don't see our stuff as being that controversial, but I don't know. I don't tend to like intentionally do something that's going to be really overly,
right?
Gross.
You're not setting out to offend or hurt people's feelings.
Not really, no. So yeah, if anything, it always provided inspiration when I had like a baby going around the house with diapers. I think there's a period in our work where you see a lot more diaper comedy. There's a bedtime stories episode where Eric's addicted to eating diapers, and so I guess it's I probably draw from them more than anything.
So you see the dirty diaper and you look at that as a blessing. I can do a hot 15 on that instead of I don't want to change this dirty diaper.
No, it's more like I see it all as fodder.
That's great.
That's the best approach to life.
Do your kids watch your content or listen to your content at all?
Well, my daughter is very aware of Office Hours. She's been on before. She loves it. If I started doing these sort of very casual like live streams on YouTube where I'm just kind of sitting around playing my guitar and stuff, and she's already got that bug where she comes on and is like, "Hi, everybody. I'm Tim's daughter, and just wanted to say hi." And, she's really got that bug. So I'm not
content creator bug.
Yeah, she's going to have her own Instagram channel shortly with beauty tips for 7-year-olds.
Don't sound too excited.
That's awful. I take that back.
That's fine.
That might already exist, to be honest. This could be a burgeoning market.
Tim, did you see the Paul Rudd video where he's teaching kids that wearing a mask is cool?
I did see that, yeah.
What I was curious to hear your thoughts on it. Not for any particular reason, but I've seen a lot of friends of mine offer all different types of commentary on it.
You know what? Paul is a good guy. He's a friend.
Ooh, we always love when it starts with that.
Yeah, and so I'll refrain from any further commenting at this time.
Look, Paul's Paul. He's a great guy.
Nothing can take away from the kind of person Paul is and the kind of work he generally does.
Well,
Chris, what did you think about it?
I mean, it's trash, but like I kind of agree with Tim. It's like Paul's given us so much. I don't even know the guy, but I'm going to give him a pass for this personally.
Yeah, I'll give him a pass.
The other thing that I saw today that I would like to talk about with both of you is that Noel Gallagher is a confirmed super spreader.
Oh, right. Yeah, I saw that.
And as a Liam Gallagher head, I'm honestly kind of happy about it. It kind of ends the battle of which brother is your favorite for me. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Well, that seems contradictory to your super spreading sympathizing though, Chris.
Well, I mean, what I do, Jason, and what I say, are two different things. Like I don't want to preach super spreading. I just want to do it.
So what is Noel? What is Noel doing exactly?
Noel said masks are like we need to be liberated from the mask.
He'll walk into Tesco with the mask off, is what you're saying.
Exactly. And Ian Brown from the Stone Roses is on the same wave.
What is it about these Brit poppers?
They're dumb. They're dumb. They're dumb guys.
They're
like,
dumb guys.
Like that's what we all forget about a lot of these musicians. Like the Beatles.
They chose music because they're not smart.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Beatles, more than anybody, right? But like when John Lennon got political, I love it, but also he's not super educated, so he got like really in deep with like these very radical guys, and like the Bob, whoever, like in the Weather Underground or whatever, and he's like, you could see him being like, I better step back from this scene. But I mean, Noel, the Gallaghers can't be too bright, right? I mean, they can't be.
We're a very pro Oasis podcast, but I'm going to accept your slander because I deeply. I agree with you. It's true.
Well, yeah, where they lack in maybe an IQ test, they make up for in stage presence. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're the swaggiest rock band of my time, I would say, as far as coolness goes.
Yeah, I was never a fan. I could never. I was not a Oasis. Not that
Tim,
I disliked them actively, but I
you more of a Blur fella, Tim?
Oh, sure, I like Blur, but I liked. I liked. You mentioned the Stone Roses. I liked the Stone Roses, and that I don't know, that mid '90s Brit pop stuff. I never was really into it. Sorry.
So when it was the mid '90s, you're like around 40 or so.
Yeah, so I would say my mid '90s were like a mix of classic rock, your Beatles, Stones, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin.
Sure.
The classics. But then, I have to say I've been going back to this because it's been a while since I listened to it, but like Siamese Dream from Smashing Pumpkins. Classic. That was big.
Great cassette.
Great record.
I would say I was a big fan of that. I would be this is embarrassing, but I probably listened to the Counting Crows a lot.
Oh, Tim, funny you say that. I played a Counting Crows song in the car with Jason just the other day, and he acted like he was going to throw me out of the car.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that stuck with me, but not only the Counting Crows, but the Black Crows.
Wow.
Tim, you're really in my
and
wheelhouse.
Chris have very, very similar musical tastes.
Yeah,
the Black Crows. Are you familiar with the tour they did with Oasis called the Brotherly Love Tour?
No, I didn't know.
Which is one of the more brilliant things. But the Black Crows are one of Atlanta's best exports that I feel like are very underappreciated.
Yeah,
except for '90s sluts, they loved it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I found I listen to the Black Crows all the time to this day.
Yeah, that one record, that Southern Music, whatever it is, the brown one, it's great. Yes. It's a great record.
So, Tim, you never had a straight edge phase or a hip hop phase at all?
No.
Good for you.
I grew up in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and straight edge, hardcore straight edge,
big scene, was
huge, and most of the friends of mine loved it or were into it, part of that scene. And I remember just hearing it in the back. I can very vividly imagine being the back of this guy's Jeep and playing the loudest fucking hardcore, and it would just drain the life out of me. It would exhaust me to hear that music. I
It
couldn't.
was like
understand
waterboarding for you.
it was so hyper centralized or something. Like it was just so loud. I couldn't hear what anybody was singing about. I don't know what was going on. So I just would go home and listen to Van Morrison and Cat Stevens.
Damn, I'm also a Van Morrison. I was just listening to some Van Morrison live this weekend as well, Jason.
Oh man, that is it the
one
Montreux,
the jazz festival, the Montreux, like 79. I think it's on YouTube. The whole thing is on YouTube.
Well, the one that I love, the live one, that it's the what's the famous club, the famous theater from the early 70s that Bill Graham had, the something East. The Fillmore East, yeah, and I think there was a recording of it that came out as too late to stop now, I believe.
Yes.
That is the greatest thing ever. That he's like just off of Moondance, and he's playing that record, and he's playing some Astral Weeks, and his band is like fully on fire.
His bands are so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They're so good. It's insane. But did you listen to that growing up? Like, did your parents listen to that?
Yeah, I think so. They had, I don't know how much they listened to that in particular, but I probably, I just had the CD. I had that CD I listened to a lot. I was really into the Talking Heads as well.
Mm-hmm. I didn't find Van Morrison until I was an adult, and it really hurts me sometimes.
Right.
I wish I would have known about it when I was 14 or 15.
You know what?
I think it could have changed
I feel like I was like a Rolling Stone magazine guy where I would subscribe, and then they had a great feature that they would feature a classic record and like from the 70s or something, and they'd write a little thing, and I would often go to the record store and buy it. You know, something like obvious things now, but like Velvet Underground and Nico, like I remember, or Pet Sounds, and you'd see these lists of like great records of all time and that kind of thing, and it made me want to be like, well, if Rolling Stone said this is a great record, I got to check this out, you know. So I guess I became a little bit of a, you know, just like into that era and trying to find all these things. Again, you know, before the internet, it wasn't quite as obvious about all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Did you hang out at was there a local record store in Allentown?
Yeah, we had a local record store called Tunes.
Damn,
feels
very
very Canadian.
That does feel very Canadian.
Now that you've had your comedy career, you've had your musical career, are there any other goals that you're hoping to accomplish before you hang the boots up?
I'd like to win an Oscar, an Emmy, Grammy, all those awards. I'd like to be included in that echelon, the EGOT.
Okay. The EGOT crew.
No, I just
no cookbook, no other weird side project like that. Model trains, perhaps.
No, nothing outside of this incredibly rich, diverse career I have. I think,
guys, I'm doing really well, so I could leave it at
all
this,
goals have been achieved. So it's a little hard to figure out what to do every day.
Damn. And are you using any type of, self-help system to achieve all these goals? Are you reading the master, what's it called? The Artist's Way? Any of those things?
I've always dabbled in that stuff, or like looked into it, and then I just get bored and give up and don't.
So are you just naturally motivated, or has it ever been a struggle for you?
I think I go through phases of feeling really like energized with something and really productive, and then I have like periods of being very lazy and unproductive, and I think I try to use those times to watch stuff or read stuff or catch up on things, and I've learned to like not panic about that, because it's like those are just you have ebbs and flows of creativity and stuff. So in the meantime, you hope like interesting projects come around that you could be a part of, like the show, the acting that I've done, or working on other people's things. And so, it's all a big chaotic mess usually. And it's like trying to, like this fall, I've got a record and this show Moonbase coming out, and maybe something else. And it's like they're all crashing into each other at once, but I didn't make all those things at the same time. They're all like, some of them are from like a year or so ago. And so there's a perception that maybe I'm like constantly making stuff, and it's not really That's not really the case.
Right.
What's up with this?
Film it all and let God sort it out.
Yeah.
Exactly. What's up with this new show? I saw the announcement today. It was so well timed.
Well, Moonbase, we made this show with John C. Reilly and Fred Armisen and Jonathan Kreisel, who's the director of Baskets in Portlandia. And we got together like a few years ago, and we all are just such fans of each other and friends with each other. We just thought, well, what could we do? What's a show we could do together that is kind of just the three of us kind of stuck in a room and like where we could just fuck around and improvise and goof off and we have that relationship already just as friends, like on text messages and stuff. And anyway, so we just kind of came up with this idea that we were these astronauts training to live on the moon, and we're sort of stuck in the desert living together in this dome, and we just sold the idea to A24, who makes stuff, and we shot it without a network or without any kind of TV person involved. We made 6 episodes, like off the grid, kind of from the entertainment industry, and then it was like it was a weird thing. It was probably not the right thing to do, but it all worked out in the end. But then it was like going around to all these places saying like, here's a TV show that's fully finished. Does anybody want it? And a lot of these places were like, what the fuck? Well, no, that's not how we operate. Like, we want to be in on the ground floor of this kind of thing.
So was that independently funded, or did A24 give you a budget for that?
A24 funded it. Fully funded.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
They got deep pockets.
Yeah, they're doing okay. But it was a risky move, and it's worked out, but I can't say it was smooth sailing the whole way, because then there was all these
other. Did you
other.
guys shoot it in a desert?
We shot it in L.A., but there's this like weird quarry up in sand quarry up in like Simi Valley that we shot it. That was kind of.
I know the one.
You know that sand. Yeah, that's where you go to get all your sand for your private beach. So yeah, we shot it up there, and then we shot it on a soundstage in Sylmar, and. Yeah, it was a weird thing to go and do like a full season of a show without really knowing what it was going to be. I mean, we had written it and we had kind of, did all that prep and stuff, but there is this scary thing about like, all right, now the cameras are rolling and now we're supposed to actually do this. And there isn't like it's why you make a pilot, is you make something to see what it is and see what's wrong with it or what's right with it and stuff. We didn't do that because we're just very arrogant about our own talents and our own abilities, and just like the idea of like getting all of us together.
So.
Yeah, I mean the idea of getting all of us together at the same time and building a big set. It just felt like let's just shoot a season if we're going to do this. So I'm very.
So that was
That
was like a very conscious decision, even though you knew it was maybe not the best idea.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, let's just do this, and if it's if it's a disaster, well, we've like Paul
Rudd,
our money. We've made enough good stuff, and we can afford a few misses.
Let's just film a TV show.
Yeah,
get it over with.
But we all just got along great, and it was really fun, and we're all really happy with it. It doesn't feel like anything any of us have really done before. And for various reasons, it feels like its own thing. So I'm excited for people to see it.
So it's three guys.
I'm practicing
stuck.
for my Jimmy Fallon interview, as you can tell from my tone.
Thanks. We can do. We can. Let me. I'll get some bad jokes ready. Give me one second.
So the show is you three guys are astronauts, and you're going to go live on the moon, and it's like the biodome style training facility. And then the hijinks ensues.
That's correct.
Nothing was.
I don't know.
Damn. I guess I don't need to watch it. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, it's sort of this like, if there's any kind of like above the like kind of thematic thing going on, it's kind of these inept white men who are just kind of expecting everything to go right for them, and nothing ever does. But there's this entitlement going on that we think is kind of funny, that they're kind of made irrelevant by various things in the world. And but
ripped from today's headlines
a little bit, and there's this like kind of prescient feeling of like the way people might go crazy if they have to live together with people and not leave the house and wear protective gear whenever they breathe oxygen outside. So that worked in our favor. We're
another COVID victory.
Yeah, exactly.
Another COVID victory. Now, are you a fan? Do you like when stuff all comes out at once, or do you like things to be more like episodic and like weekly, or is that
binge?
Passed us by?
As a viewer, I would say it's terrific to have just everything there for you whenever you want. There's almost nothing I watch on a weekly basis that I'm like all caught up on anyways, so things generally just kind of pile up and then they're already out, so I can watch them whenever. I'm really enjoying Fargo, which I had not watched when it was on, so that's just all there to binge, I think if I was a creator, it's more fun to kind of drag things out or like have things be on for various weeks, and it feels more like traditional television that I grew up watching, and
build up a little anticipation.
Yeah, get people to keep writing hot takes on, and
the real important
more press releases for my publicist to craft.
I didn't think about that side of it, but it makes sense.
But I don't. I mean, I just feel like sometimes I watch things so fast, I have very little memory of what actually happened when it's all handed to me. I like plow through it, and then I might not be able to tell you in 2 weeks what even.
Imagine if you were stoned, Chris.
It'd be crazy.
You're doing that's happening to you stone cold sober.
I do like the small bites, especially if it's something I really love. I don't want to.
What about a quick bite though?
We call quick bites on this show. Okay, this is a Quibi facing podcast. So.
That's too quick. That is way too quick. I need to savor it a little more.
How big was the Quibi deal that you turned down? You can tell us.
Nothing delights me more than reading like takedown articles on Quibi. It is like a beautiful Sunday morning brunch for me when I open up like a Vulture article.
That's how I used to be, but then I kind of started feeling bad for some reason, even though there's no reason I should be feeling bad for these, billionaire media conglomerate people. After a while, I was like, damn, they're kind of getting a raw deal.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's something. I've actually never really interacted with the interface, so I can't. But
nobody has.
No,
nobody. That's the whole problem. That's the whole issue.
What was annoying? I had pitched a few things there, and what really turned me off right away was like, the development person being like, "I love this. I think this is so cool, but frankly, like this has to kind of go through Jeffrey and." Jeffrey's got a certain
on the yacht.
He's got a certain idea of what's going to work. And I'm like, well, this is doomed to failure right now. I know it because what the fuck does he know about what anybody wants anymore? Like, he certainly probably had his time where that was what he. But how do you stay connected to what if you're trying to figure out what people are going to want? It just seems like such a losing battle.
That's why you hire bright young minds to do that job for you.
Yeah. You should have said like, well, you're my development executive. You believe in this so much, like go for it. And if if you succeed, great. If not, that's what we learn. But it's sort of like that's how Mike Lazo at Adult Swim was always so great about just being like, listen, I don't really know what's going to work. I like this, or I don't know if it's going to work, but I trust in you guys, and if you believe in it, then I'll support it. And you live and die by success or failure, and that's how you figure out what's good or bad, or what's working or not working. Not this sort of like crystal ball about trying to predict what people are going to want.
Right. Yeah. Do you think at what age do you think that you're gonna Katzenberg out yourself and not be able to tell what will be a success or not?
I have no idea what if anything I'm doing is resonating or of interest to anybody. I don't know because I don't know where people are seeing things. I don't know how people are seeing things. Who knows? I try not to overthink that too much.
But most of your shit is available on all streaming services, correct?
No, it's a mess. It's strewn out. HBO Max put up like an awesome show, but then there's other things that aren't up there, and it's all locked behind paywalls and ripped off on YouTube, and it's
brother,
terribly
it's
managed.
A mess.
It's terribly
That's a
managed.
fucking mess. It sounds like you need to get your team on this.
I wish if I had a team, they'd be all over it.
Tim, we talk a decent amount about fitness on this podcast. Could you break down your daily fitness regimen to us?
Well, it ebbs and flows like everything. So about a month or so ago, I put some pounds on during quarantine, as I think a lot of people do. I got into some stress eating and some demotivated, living. And so
demotivated living is
demotivated
really cool.
living.
I like that.
Really cool phrase.
So I started. I really, really dislike working out. I dislike the kind of painful CrossFit kind of thing. I really hate that. I've tried that before. So
for the birds.
Yeah. So what I've done is I live on about a 1.5 mile hill, and I've been taking very 2-hour walks when I can, like 3 or 4 times a week. So I'll take like long walk, like 6 or 7 mile walks. And that's about it. And then I've been doing like those little 7-minute workouts on, which is kind of that CrossFit thing, but it's not too bad. And
So
I play tennis.
You're telling me that? Oh, you do?
I do play tennis, but not this week. Since we had the heat wave and then we had the smoke, and so it's just been it's not been a great time to be outside. But I do like.
Tim, we got to go play some tennis sometime, buddy. I'm over here in Fremont Park in Glendale all the time knocking balls.
I'm not great at all.
What's your
so,
We played yesterday actually, and it wasn't too bad out there.
Well, I'd like to play. You can text me at some point. I'm not, like I said, I'm average to below average, but I can play.
That's
so
what
I don't
matters.
know. Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised. So these big studios aren't paying for you to have a personal trainer, or are you just rejecting that notion? I mean, I don't. I mean, look, I know a show about astronauts isn't fucking Tarzan, but
I look so bad. I look so bad in Moonbase. Like you're not gonna like I. We all we're wearing these bad polos with like khaki shorts, and like it's an unflattering look, and and also I think people assume I'm just fat, and they're like, well, we'll get the fat guy to do this part. So it might be career suicide to lose too much weight.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, the Jonah Hill effect can be very real.
Yeah, it sure can.
You were mentioning earlier putting on some LBs in the quarantine, doing some stress eating. What is your stress snack or snacks?
I went down this dark hole of peanut M&Ms where somebody in my family bought a big party.
Tim, we are
size
kindred
bag.
spirits.
Wow,
we are
best
big
candy.
peanut M&M hive on
It
this
is
side.
the best. It is the best candy, and we somehow had like a party size bag in the house, and nobody else was really eating them, and I would just pound those fuckers.
First mistake is buying that bag. You can't ever let yourself buy that
Have
bag.
you? Yeah, that's like buying a carton of American Spirits. It ain't gonna end anywhere good. Have you ever tried the Unreal brand healthy version of the peanut M&M?
Oh no, I've never heard of such a thing.
We'll messenger over a bag to the house. I think it could be the solution that you're looking for.
All right. I'm in.
I mean, in my house growing up, my dad was a big peanut M&M head, and my mom would buy the 5-pound bag that you speak of, but he would keep it he would never bring it with him. He would get up and walk to get a handful and then walk back to the couch as if that was going to help him eat less. So
whatever works.
It did not work. So that's what I'm saying, Tad. Are you hauling the bag to the couch, or are you faking it and pretending that you're eating less than you are?
I would. I never took the bag with me. I would definitely go up. I had a smaller little bowl that I would pile them up into, and then refill that bowl several times.
That's what I mean.
We call that a one hitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So Tim, when you're doing your fitness walks, are you doing this solo, or are you bringing a dog with you?
No, solo, fully solo. And I do a mix of listening to music, listening to maybe a book on tape or a podcast or something, and then just nothing. And I find that it's very good for ideas. And if I'm working on something, I generally find that if I focus on thinking about whether it's a new show idea or whatever. If I just think about that as I'm walking, like magic.
Yeah.
answers
There,
come.
there's studies that show that the act of walking stimulates certain idea making brain patterns in your mind.
It totally works. I am a firm believer in it. It's a little hard. It's a little hard to commit that much time to doing it every day, but I try to at least 4 times a week, I guess.
That's good. Chris, you could take a little page out of that book.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You know, you're a little resistant of those meditative walks.
I'm not. I love exercise, but I like it to be Tim. Whatever you hate, I love. I want to be destroyed and yelled at. Exactly. That's my platform for 2020. But I can't just stroll aimlessly. Even though it's not aimless, I know you're like, there's a point to it, but I have a hard time doing that. And I do think it is beneficial. But I feel that same idea hive happening when I'm running. So I think it's a similar,
when I say walk, I do a little bit of jogging. Like I will jog as like the little I'll run a little bit and then walk and kind of go back and forth.
Tim, lastly, I wanted to talk about your podcast Office Hours. Could you, to somebody listening who's never heard it before, could you describe what this program is? It
started really as just a call-in show where I put up a Skype and had audience, anybody that wanted to call in and talk about whatever. And then I brought in, so I always did it in the morning and I called it Office Hours because it was like, I could talk about if you wanted to get advice or ask me a question or whatever, that was my time I was offering. And as I kept doing it, Doug Lucenhop, DJ Doug Pound, came in and he started doing that sort of Fred Norris from the Stern Show thing with drops and sound effects and stuff. And then Vic Berger came in, started doing it as well. And then we figured out that we had this great little trinity of minds that made for like an entertaining kind of mix of, like what you guys are doing, just kind of shooting the shit and talking. And then, we'd get serious about if something crazy is going on in the world. And then taking calls. I love talking to people, like just getting to talk to some dude in, Milwaukee or the Netherlands or, or around the world. People are listening in and calling in and telling me what they're thinking. And I absolutely love it.
You could do that all day.
I could kind of do it all day. I do it standing up, which is also fun for my body. It's also good for my body. So
keeping that little body tight and right.
I wish.
Do you ever get people who are calling in and trolling or pranking or anything like that?
The disappointing thing is I used to get that a lot more because it was just like a Skype number that was on the screen when we were doing it. And since like COVID, since kind of we moved out of my office, my real office, to my garage, we kind of moved to Zoom, and we'd sort of have this our own audience now, and it's less of sort of randos calling. It's more of like fans of the show, and I do miss that because I love when people call up and be like, "You're a fucking idiot! Like, how can you? Why don't you understand how great Trump is or something?" And I'll be like, "Bring that to me every morning," because I love getting angry and yelling at people and calling people idiots and stuff. So I miss that because everybody's so nice now, but it's still fun.
And have you been able to turn the show into a revenue stream at all, or are you doing it just for fun? Or
we've been able to. We've set up a Patreon, and it's bringing in some real money. It's nothing like it's not quit your day job, but there's 4 of us that equally split the pot, and we put some money. Cool. We put some money into the show. We've made gussied up the studio, and we pay an engineer and that kind of stuff. But it's coming. It's chugging along. It's doing pretty good, and we sell some ads, and it's no Joe Rogan deal, but it's certainly worth my
exciting.
time. Yeah.
And it's cool that all of your friends get to work together and make a little cash on the side, help cushion the blow during these trying times.
Yeah, it's been good to have something to do every week. It feels like a good focus and a good, it's a good way to spend my my COVID times.
God bless. Well, thanks so much for doing this show, Tim. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's lovely to talk to you boys.
Tell people where they can find you, etc.
Yeah, plug the show, new record, all that stuff.
Fear of Death will be everywhere September 25th in terms of Spotify and all that. Follow me at Tim Heidecker on Twitter and at Tim Heidecker, I think, at Tim Heidecker on Instagram, maybe. Any of those places. I'm around. imdb.com/Tim Heidecker.
Woo! Big flex. There we go. There we go, baby. That's what I was looking for.
The Showtime
is coming November 8th. Thanks, guys. Have a
Thanks,
great
Tim.
Tim. We'll talk to you soon, bro.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, you too. Later.
What's up?